So, not with the dump bed today. I am with a customer that I happened to find on the side of the road. I was driving home Monday or Tuesday and noticed a Charger sitting in a turn lane on the highway with the hood up. So I turned around, doubled back. I had a cop sitting behind him blocking traffic, but looked like there were some people under the hood trying to figure it out. So I doubled back, turned around, stopped and asked them if they needed any tools, and it happened to be this real nice lady and her son. Her son was driving the car when it started smoking. He didn't know what it had done, so they were kind of just under the hood trying to figure out where all the coolant came from, because there was coolant all over the engine bay and under it. So I pulled over in front of them, asked them if I needed help, and stuck my head under it. Determined that the car was probably safe to drive a short distance just to get out of the turn lane so they weren't sitting in the middle of the highway. And once I got them in a parking lot, let it run for a minute and build up some coolant pressure, and discovered that one of the crossover pipes or hoses on the top of the motor, it's got a T-fitting, and the T-fitting had just broke, and that's where all the coolant came from. Now, luckily for them, the hose is pretty much the highest point of the coolant system. There's still plenty in the reservoir, and it's right there on the top. Don't have to dig through nothing to try to, finagle it out. So I asked her if she had anybody that was mechanically inclined, or if she wanted somebody to come out and do it, and she more than happily accepted my services coming down here and getting this thing back on the road. So 2017 Dodge Charger RT, has a 5.7 Hemi in it. She seems to take really good care of it. I mean, the car's really, really nice. The engine bay was really, really nice. So we're going to throw this pipe on it and get it bled and try to get her back on the road. Alright, so I basically finished up with the Charger. It took a little longer to bleed than I expected. Here's what actually happened to it. So that's the pipe that broke, and it's like the crossover pipe for the heater core. This seems to be the return line, and that's what popped on it, and nothing you can really do about that. Thankfully enough, like I said before, the hose was right on top. It was nothing to get to, and after a fair amount of bleeding, which took longer than expected, she's running hot, which is awesome. The heat, at least. You don't get much hotter than that. So I am real happy that I stopped to help this lady on the side of the road. I do my best to not leave somebody sitting with their hood up if I can help it. I mean, even in an age full of cell phones, a kind stranger can be more of a help than you might think. Even if somebody does have a cell phone and can call for help or a tow truck, they still might not know, how to get it fixed or who they can get it fixed from. And that was this situation. She already had a tow truck on the way, but she had no idea what was wrong with it or how to even fix it. So even at the very least, if I can't help somebody on the side of the road, I can still try to at least tell them what the problem is and the best a direction to get it fixed, point them down the right path of getting it working again. And thankfully for her, it was a real simple coolant hose right on the top of the motor. She didn't lose all of her coolant. I've stopped to help people on the side of the road, and they've blown their lower radiator pipe, and that dumps the whole system, and it's a process to bleed it. This one really only needed the heater core bled on it, which I suspected anyway, and it just took a bit longer to bleed than I thought it would. But now it's blowing as hot as could be. Car's good to go, seems to run great, idle's fine. It's drinking, well, it's done now, but it's drank all the coolant it's going to. Should be great. So I'm glad I was able to help her out. Another person back on the road. It's always a good thing.